Hello, my name is Tasmin. I am a storyteller, an author, and a freelance creative, and I am living on the Azores archipelago. And currently I have this series, which is the My Story series, where I tell you the story how I came from being a city girl in Munich in Germany to living in nature and gardening away and all these kind of things. And this is part 3, so I have already 2 videos uploaded. One is why I left Germany and the other one is called It Almost Broke Me, and it basically talks about the first couple of weeks and months that I spent here that were absolutely horrible. So if you have not checked those out, please check them out, otherwise this video will not make a lot of sense to you. I will leave the links down below. If you can tell, today we're a little bit in a different location. That is because I was able to borrow the car of my partner and come to one of my favorite places, which is the High Road, the Highland, which is an area on Pico that is like, oh, Pico is coming out. Sorry. I always get excited when I see the volcano. But yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, the High Road. This is one of my favorite places. Pico is a volcanic island, like all the Azores Islands. And Pico Island does not only have that one big massive volcano, which is the one that is coming out of the clouds right now, but it has, I think, almost about 200 smaller volcanoes that shaped the island and created the island in the last 250,000 years. And that is what the highland basically is. Like, you see this is a volcano. You see this is a volcano. Every like bump that you see here, up here, is a volcano, and it's absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. It's one of my favorite places. I come here whenever I can, and today is such a beautiful day. Like, you can see the sun is like not doing me a favor, but yeah, it's a beautiful place. And here is a little bit more silent. You don't hear as many cars, which is nice. We left off at the last video at a point where I was not doing well. The first couple of weeks and months on Pico Island had been a rough ride, to say the least. I had been sick for weeks and months. I had just been a tour guide for 30 days straight without any break whatsoever, and the last 15 days I had to spend with some pretty horrible people. As I said, more information about that in the previous video. And on the 1st of August, I was finally going back to Pico. The 1st of August was a very stressful day. It started out on San Miguel Island, where I said goodbye to the group, and then I flew back to Fayal, which is the neighboring island to Pico, because apparently there was no flight back to Pico or something. I don't know. I didn't book the flights. The flights were pre-booked. And then I had to catch the last ferry of the night to get back to Pico, and the plane was late. So that was a very stressful experience to try and catch the ferry. I literally catched it just because a friendly local picked me up at the airport because he saw how stressed I was, because I really just wanted to get back to Pico, because I didn't know what else to do if I would strand on Fayal Island. And he picked me up and he drove me to the ferry station, and I literally catched the ferry just by a matter of seconds. So that was incredibly stressful. And then I stood on the ferry back to Pico Island, and I had the volcano in front of me in the evening light, and the ocean was calm and in all those beautiful colors. And I looked at the mountain, and I just had this incredible warm feeling of, I'm coming home. You need to know that in the first couple of months when I first moved to Pico, I was in such a shock state, and I was so tired and sick, and I was doing so poorly that I had said multiple times, this will never be my home. I will never feel at home here. But then suddenly something clicked, and I did. And I loved it. From that second on, I just loved it here. I realized that Pico was my safe space, that I absolutely loved, and that it's just one of the most magical and beautiful places I've ever been to. By the time I finally arrived back in my little stone house, it was already midnight in Germany. It was 10 p.m. on the island. It was midnight in Germany, and on the 2nd of August is my birthday. So I ended that day with all of my German people wishing me a happy birthday and sending me so much love. And I really could feel the love that they were sending to me. And it was just this day was just such a special moment. It really changed everything for me. A few days after my birthday, on the 6th of August, 2018, I went to one of my favorite places on the entire island, which is the Gruta das Torres. That is the longest lava cave or lava tube in all of Portugal and definitely in all of Azores. And it is here on Pico. And I had been to this place so many times that the people working there already knew me. They see me and they're like, it's you again. And of course, since I was a tour guide and that was a part of the program, I was there with my tour groups also. And on the 6th of August, I went to the Gruta das Torres because there was a meditation taking place. That is something very unusual. That is something that is not usually offered there. This is just something that one tour guide from France who knows the people of the Gruta das Torres is doing once a year, if he's here. So it's nothing official. It's nothing that you can just randomly join unless you're on the group of this French tour guide. So you gotta be French. But because I knew the people of the Gruta das Torres, I knew about the meditation. And I asked them if there is any chance I could join, because I love this cave so much. I feel so grounded and calm when I'm in there, because this cave doesn't have any light. It's not like here. It's clearly way too bright right now, but the cave is completely without artificial light. You only go in with torchlights, and that's it. There is no light in there. So as soon as you turn those lights off, it's pitch black. I've never experienced a darkness like this. And you don't hear anything because the walls absorb the sound, because you need to know Pico Island on a geological level is very, very young. 250,000 years, which is also just an estimate, is almost nothing when you think in the time spans of volcanoes. As like a comparison, Santa Maria Island, the oldest of the Azores archipelago, is multiple million years old. So just a little comparison right there. So Pico is quite young, and because Pico is so young, and because of the way the volcanoes work here, the volcanic rock has a lot of holes, and that absorbs the sound. So when you're in this cave, you hear nothing but your own heartbeat and the dripping of water that's coming down. And the temperature is always the same. You always have a steady temperature. It's cool, it's fresh. You have the water dripping, you hear your own heartbeat, you hear your own breath. And when the light is off, you don't see or experience anything else. It's incredible. I love it so much. I've been so many times to this place, and every single time I go there, I see something else and I experience something else. And I'm always, always so amazed with that place. So luckily, I was able to join the meditation, and that was kind of like a birthday gift to myself, kind of. And that was also, again, such a magical experience to just sit on this volcanic rock in absolute silence. Just me and this stone that was literally liquid lava from the heart of our planet not too long ago, because the Gruta das Torres is not that crazy old. It's like, I don't know, I can't describe it. Even until this day, even 3 years later, it's sometimes hard to describe what I felt. I think the biggest things of all, I felt gratitude for being here and for being a part of this. And I felt so connected with nature. And I put my hands down on the cold stone, and I could feel the movement of the lava in the memory of the stone. I know this sounds very spiritual, but as I told you, while I was there in those 7 months, this was really my path to spirituality. I was not spiritual at all when I came to Pico on the first day. And I left Pico deeply spiritual because I had experiences like this, because I could not deny those situations. So from then on out, the time ran fast. This was in the beginning of August, and I was leaving in the beginning of October. So I only had 2 months left, and those 2 months ran by so quick. After the first months had been so hard and so draining, and of course time went very, very, very slow, those last 2 months just went by like this. I had another another tourist group that I guided. I had 2 of my friends coming for a visit, which was amazing. And yeah, it just flew by so fast, but at the same time, so much changed. There are no particular events where I'm like, yeah, that is what changed everything. I think I had enough of those in the first couple of months. But I just transformed completely into a new person within those weeks. I would dance every night before I would go to sleep. I would enjoy life. I would go on walks, and whenever I got a car somewhere, because again, just like now, I didn't have a car. I just tend to not have cars. And I would come up here into nature, to places like this. This is one of the endemic plants of the island. It's called Erica sorica, or urse. And this is, yeah, one of the endemic plants that make out this island. It was used to color clothes and everything. And things like this and things like the nature here just grounded me so much and just helped me transform and like really shed my fears and all this negativity that I'd been carrying with me. When I first arrived to Pico, I came with 2 suitcases, one small one and one big one. But I never realized how much baggage I actually had. Not only in the sense of stuff, because I didn't really miss all of the things that I still had in Germany, but that's another topic. But emotionally, I was carrying so much with me. And being here completely on my own, still, after all those months, I still didn't make any friends, or at least none that I would consider very close friends that I would call when I'm in need or when I need somebody to talk, or people that lasted. I got to know a few people, but not a lot, and nothing of this was like deep friendship, you know, or oh yeah, we hang out all the time kind of friendship. No, I was pretty much alone. I was completely on my own, and that was so important. That was so needed for my growth. And I deepened my relationship with nature, and I deepened my relationship with the island. So when the beginning of October arrived, I had to ask myself one very serious question. And that question was, will I take the flight back that has been booked all along for me and that I've been looking forward to for most of my time here? Will I actually board that plane and go back to Germany after all of the love that I'm feeling here, and after the fact that I feel so at home? You need to know that I had been looking for a home for a very long time at this point. I never really realized it that strongly up until this point, but it's true. I have been growing up in the same tiny town all my life. I mentioned this in my very first video about my story. But I never belonged there. This was not where I was meant to be. This is not where I belong. And I've been looking. That's why I love traveling so much. That's why I wanted to be like one of those nomadic traveling people that like hop from place to place and just explore the entire globe. And I wrote my bachelor thesis about what home means to digital nomads and things like that. Hey, excuse me, could you go away? There's a bug on my camera. And I have always been looking for a place that I feel like I belong, and being here, I finally felt that. But I was so young and I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything I could work here. And I had family and friends and a partner in Germany. So again, I needed to make one of those big life-changing decisions. But about that, I will tell you in the next episode of my story. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and see you in my next video.